Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, we're going to start off from CNN. Millions of Americans are at risk of losing food stamps next month, aimed shutdown. And of course, we understand the principles of what's going on here because the continuing resolution requires 60 votes. And despite the fact that the Democrats and or left like to snark that the Republicans or the GOP control both the House and the Senate, there are only 53 Republicans in the Senate, and a CR, a continuing resolution, requires 60 votes. So the Democrats found their wedge issue that they can leverage and sensationalize and exaggerate because it will require 7 votes from Democrats for a resolution to pass. And they know this, and they're just playing the game. Roughly 42 million people are at risk of losing critical food assistance in November, aimed the federal government shutdown. And it's not clear whether the Trump administration will step in to find the funds to continue paying benefits as it has with other priorities. Isn't that fascinating? So they're sitting there admitting that Trump has found ways to generate money. For example, paying for the military. A billionaire is now helping give funds for the military. That's for those who are in the military, not the military itself, as it were. The people in the military, right? The food stamp program will run out of money in 2 weeks, Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins told reporters at the White House on Thursday. So you're talking about millions and millions of vulnerable families, of hungry families that are not going to have access to these programs because of the shutdown, she said. Now, of course, we can always find ways to fund it. But if the Democrats are this concerned, then 7 of them can vote. And the whole premise here, of course, is that the Democrats are using this advantage or using this to their advantage because they know that it requires 60 votes. And this is just one of those things where they can just stop Trump. It's just that simple. And many of these articles read the same. So I won't go into the specifics of reading them again because you guys already know that it's going to affect 42 million Americans. But we're going to listen to a little of what we have here on Fox News.
It's a global embarrassment what these Democratic senators are doing, keeping the government shut down. I mean, look at the numbers. It's 52-3, 52 Republican senators, 3 Democratic senators that come across the line. It's starting to slow down air traffic. And I would urge moderate Democrats to be heroes, come across the aisle like they did in the spring and pass a clean CR.
So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, as the government shutdown drags into day 27 today, he says it is now hitting the economy, but Democrats still digging in their heels, showing no signs of letting up on their demands. Where does that leave us? Good question for Tom Emmer, House Majority Whip. Sir, thank you for your time and good morning to you. Listen to John Fetterman here, okay? He voted with Republicans in the Senate. He was one of the 3 Democrats who did.
I mean, I'm not surprised when I do believe that there's a critical mass of my fellow Democrats that are dug in and out until there's an absolute ironclad kind of a deal. And I do fundamentally believe Leader Thune is an honorable guy. And I do believe we could have a sincere conversation, after we can open it up.
Okay, so I sense no movement. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong. Good to be with you, Bill. I think we're in the same place today as we were last week. We need 5 Senate Democrats to cross over, to peel away from their leader, Chuck Schumer, and vote with the Republicans to get this government reopened. I think the interesting thing that Senator Fetterman said was, once we get the government open, we can get back to the negotiating table. That's what.
And there it is, right? Now, he mentioned 52. Bessent mentioned 52 because there's a Republican that is also there voting with Democrats and not approving the bill or the CR. So that's where you got that number if you guys were curious about doing the actual math, because there's always going to be like one or other or more sometimes that do side with one party or the other. As we've always said here on the BuzWeaver channel, it's a club. So at the end of the day, when they're doing all their work, they're all on the same playing field. They're all still within the same club, and the club has its own rules and how it works and the decorum, and you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So it's a Sid pro quo kind of thing going on, and so it's a matter of finding ways to see how one or the other party can benefit one or the other for many other things. So interesting, nonetheless, the dialogue here. And I did, well, actually, I had it here. Sorry about that, guys. There was an issue there with the browser showing my personal address and everything there as a result of looking for this search. But I did want to include it because I was mentioning it. In some states, which does not include my state, despite the fact that the GPT AI was showing my area, of course, because it's doing it by location. But as you can see here, yes, there is a growing number of states have received approval for waivers to start restricting the purchases of certain junk foods like soda and candy with SNAP EBT benefits, with these changes set to begin in 2026. So I just wanted to mention that, too, is there are changes that are going to be made to SNAP as well as EBT. But, this thing was associating it with my location and was showing all my personal information, so I didn't want to show all that. So I apologize for that interruption. But nonetheless, guys, so the war continues, and I just want to play a little bit of this from CBS.
Trump administration says it will not use emergency funds to pay for federal food benefits with a fast approaching deadline. CBS's Christina Fan is in New York with details on that. Christina.
Well, Jerrica, 1 in 8 Americans rely on SNAP benefits, and tonight there is mounting worry for them. They might not be able to afford food with money running out 1 week from today.
I think people are starting to panic.
Food banks around the country are flashing warning signs.
We've been having about 7 to 10 new people a day this week.
Look at that. That was full this morning.
The pantry at Calvary Episcopal Church in Kentucky ran out of food for the first time in its 43-year history.
We feel like this is the tip of the iceberg.
Members of the California National Guard are now deployed to help food banks in the state. In Massachusetts, 16% of residents rely on SNAP benefits, which provide an average of $187 a month, or about $6 a day. Democratic Governor Maura Healey holds President Trump responsible.
Leadership is a choice. And sadly, President Trump has chosen to take away food from people all around this country.
And that's the premise, right? It's to blame Trump for it. But what's extraordinary is CBS is claiming that 1 in 8 Americans are on SNAP food stamps. That's extraordinary. That's 43.1 million people in the United States. Quite incredible, as the Wall Street Ape says. There's 300 million people here in the United States, if you guys were curious about that. But the working class is paying to provide EBT for 43 million people. Approximately 54% of immigrant households participate in at least one major welfare program. So not only that, you have illegal immigrants or illegal aliens and so forth here that are also on this, which is another example of why the Republicans want to make sure that these individuals are not receiving Medicaid and Medicare as well. And this is a discussed topic that's been going on for quite some time. But, of course, the mainstream media is always going to have to put it on Trump, right? Although he could probably find the funds, as we were saying here earlier in one of these articles, how he is capable of finding funds for certain things. But this is just another leveraging issue for them to be able to talk about. But nonetheless, I find it kind of fascinating that as hardworking Americans, this is a lot of our tax money goes to help these programs for people who need it, right? For temporary purposes, usually. And as you can see here, it's heavily, heavily, heavily covered here on the bias distribution here on Ground News. And you can see here, it's massive news coverage story because, of course, this is just something they can leverage against Donald Trump. But it is fascinating overall to see what's going on here. And this is just a leveraging point by the Democrats to be able to do what they can do just to stop Trump because, obviously, they don't like him. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for your continued support across New Tech. That's BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. I may be considering changing some of the format here on the channel, but I'll get into that maybe in a separate video. But thank you guys so very much across New Tech. That's BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, as well as everyone here on YouTube. And, of course, below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to include X, along with my affiliate marketing. That would be Amazon, as well as Truth Social, as well as Trust Zone, my VPN. And so if you guys order from Amazon frequently or Prime member, you use my landing page link, as well as if you want a virtual private network to be safe while you're online, as well as other advantages to having a VPN. That's there. No bloat, no fuss there. with Trust Zone. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for continuing support. Appearing there on the screen, that'd be the channel icon. You guys can click on that if you're watching on YouTube, of course, to subscribe, as well as a select notification. That way you know when there's content here on the channel, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.